You close that door. Let me, if I go a little bit further from the microphone, maybe Manny Grossman will be happier. The main door. Hi, everybody. It's going to be a little while before hopefully somebody shows up on here. That'll be fun. We can talk Zodiac with everybody. The way we used to do. That's what all you guys are coming here for. Oh, Vincent doesn't talk about the Zodiac killer anymore. He's fucking retarded. Let's post it. And then Sandy Betts is already logged off because she doesn't like when I swear. Oh man. Let's see what I can drop it into here. I'm going to try to stay far away from the microphone so that Manny Grossman is happy. Even though Manny won't listen to this stream because it's about Zodiac and he hates the Zodiac killer. But we can talk about that stuff too. Because actually all this is going to factor into Thomas Henry Horan anyway. Mysteries with Mr. Belgique. Where did he go? Mysteries with Mr. Belgique. It's not here. That's weird. Oh, because they got rid of community chats. Those bastards. Why are they always doing things like that? So hopefully people will show up. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I guess drop it in Discord. It's usually like kind of active over there, huh? You guys, I can't scream this from the rooftops loudly enough that if you have a suspect for DB Cooper and his nose isn't small as fuck and his bottom lip isn't the size of a school bus, he's not DB Cooper. I mean, look. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Someone else took my idea retroactively. I know that I did. I mean, we can talk anything. It's, you know, I know you guys love DB Cooper and Zodiac. All these things are for you. But somebody went on the DB Cooper mystery group and they said, if your POI is average or above average looking, he is not DB Cooper. If not sure, ask a woman. So that's racist. Okay, there's other things, because that's a very subjective thing, guys. I mean, even so is the nose size and the lip size thing. But I think if it stands out, like if your suspect has like a normal mouth, and you wouldn't look at him and be like, what is this thing? Okay, we're going to talk about this too. You guys, oh my god, there's so much going on in the world that we can cover, but let's just try to stick to... Here's what we're going to do. We'll talk about Zodiac if people show up. If nobody shows up, I don't give a fuck about the Zodiac killer. But let's see. 3-Eye Atlas. That's a torch tip. You guys are smoking crack. That's not anything that was seen in space. Yeah. It looks like a nectar collector. I know it does, doesn't it? Is it a spark plug? You guys, there's so much fake stuff being put on the internet right now, it's insane. Oh, Jesus. Ugh. That's no good. Oh my god. That dude is definitely dead. I've heard that this was from a car crash. I don't know if that's true. That's the problem, is you can't trust anything on the internet now. It's all fake. And it's hard to tell what's real and what's not, because these degenerates are using artificial intelligence to post fake photos now, and it's just gotten ridiculous. They have a picture from the... I hate talking about Charlie Kirk too, because it's so obviously cut and dry. It's so obvious what happened. But it's a hot take right now. People are going on there and it's talking about Candace Owens. They're like, did you see what Candace Owens said? She said it was Lee Harvey Oswald. It's like, well, Candace Owens needs to be in rehab. So, that's her problem, not ours. Oh, that's really cool. This thing. I wish I could be just putting photos on here as we go. Maybe I could do a window share for this. There's some crazy shit going on the internet. They had a picture that this is worth posting if I can find it. I saw this today and I was like, this is not real, guys. We're gonna find it. I'm gonna look for it. Mac and cheese. I'm gonna look for it. It's Friday night, so we're gonna have like a little late night. We're going to be talking about, what the fuck? Classic shit. Is it laggy as fuck for you guys? I'm dropping 20% of frames. That's okay-ish. I need a Wi-Fi extender in here, though. That'd be cool. BB, you know turn on the TV because it will use bandwidth. Okay, I love you. But you guys, if I start dropping bandwidth anyway, then she can use the TV because it's like... That's not the cause. But I think it is the cause because right now we're pulling 4 megabytes per second. And usually when the TV's on, not the case. So it just hijacks Wi-Fi waves out of the air. Let's see what's going on the internet. Oh, yeah, we're looking for that Charlie Kirk thing. See what happens when you get distracted? And then if you guys are like, oh, but I came here for the Zodiac, then we can talk about that. Because there was some stuff I wanted to say about that a little bit. Not that much, but... I don't think anyone's taking Thomas Henry Horan seriously anymore. That's the thing. Wow, that's kind of cool. I'm going to try to find it, guys. I'll try. But hopefully it was just deemed such dramatically to be bullshit that can you dual stream this over to Facebook? That would be fun. Problem is everybody's in a different... Guys, we used to have some huge shows on here, man. You know. It used to be like the real deal, guys. I remember that guy. He was almost my brother-in-law. Not quite, though. Is that what that is? No, that's not what that is it? I don't even fucking know, man. I guess it is. I don't fucking know my mathematics. Alright, let's see. I do have some things to say about Zodiac, but if you guys show up and start putting things in the chat, then we can get into it. But we're not going to just... Because it's just obvious. It would be like me trying to convince myself. But the thing is... Oh, here it is, Mysteries of Mr. Belgique. I used to stream here every day. Feeding the homeless in Glasgow. Good job on that one. Honestly, they like meth more, though. So if you can give them meth. Or at least weed. Does Arthur Leon look at the sketch? Yes. He actually totally looks like the sketch, to be honest with you. And he looks like better sketches. He looks like the ones that I make, which are better than the ones that the SFPD made. Everybody knows that that's the case. What were we talking about with Owen Benjamin? There was something I was... Oh, I don't know what the fuck was going on with it. I think I just wanted to say something that sounded Owenish. I think it was calling something racist. Like ask a woman if DB Cooper is attractive. Like, that's racist, obviously. My personal space got violated by that claim. So, somewhere, there's this post, you guys, and it's a nightmare. It's not true. Okay, look, guys. Oh man, you guys want to hear a little bit of a war story? Actually, because I just scrolled past this meme. It says, "We'll cook in Mexico." And he says, "Tuco, I have a wife and a family." He says, "So what? You'll get another one." I was hanging out with this guy. Like oh, he's a good friend. He's cool, man. I mean, to call him not my friend, he is my friend. He's just a bad influence. I was hanging out with him in speaking of Tuco, this guy's name was Tavo. And Tavo was connected to the cartels. And we were all smoking meth together and talking and stuff. And we got into the subject of chemistry, and I was just on a sick one, and I was talking all about how you do this and that with meth chemistry and blah, blah, blah. Well, Tavo went to my friend later, and he was like, hey, we want to bring this kid to Mexico to make meth with us. And actually, yeah, this guy's totally my friend, because he immediately was like, absolutely not. You're not going to do that. And that's that. And so they didn't. And thank God for that. I wouldn't have wanted to go. But that reminds me of that whole Tuco thing. And his name was Tavo. So very similar. A little bit weird. Just the synchronicities of life. Where was... I'm still looking for this Charlie Kirk thing, guys. Still looking for Charlie... Oh. No, that's not it. Guys, look. Oh, my God. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Come on, dude. What the fuck are these people... Let me explain something to you, guys. Many colors of showbiz. You don't understand ballistics at all. You're like Mark Grobert. And the only problem is Mark Grobert has redeeming qualities, and I really like Mark Grobert, and I think he's hilarious. But he has absolutely no understanding of ballistics at all. And that's the same thing that we're seeing here with Charlie Kirk. This dumbass on Facebook is trying to say that Charlie Kirk has an entry wound to the back of his head. Do you know what happens if you get shot in the back of your head with a 30-06? The front of your face explodes. Okay? Or the clavicle, like between the collarbones, like right here in the right below the neckline. I mean, right here below the neckline is going to blow up and spray everybody in front. Because that's how ballistics works. Well, that's cool. It's pretty simple, guys. This is caveman math, okay? We're going to talk caveman math here. And then hopefully... Listen, I saw the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot. The entry wound is on the right side of his neck. What a fucking liar Tyler Robinson is. He's such a liar. Hold on, I need to do something. It's important. Is it about that time? Watch, everybody. Let's see if I pass. Momento de cierto. Have I been drinking? Let's find out. Momento de cierto. Oh, I'm blowing zeros. Is anyone surprised? No, I demand a retest. Then you can like, have your own little like cubicle in here. Yeah, this is my office. Step on in. Okay, let me talk ballistics with you guys, right? So, here's the thing about a high-powered rifle. Okay, let's get into the weeds here. Let's talk about this. We're gonna really launch into this shit. Oh, jeez. Hold on. Let's talk. I almost just stabbed myself in the solar plexus and died on stream. That would have been fucking gangster. All right. So here's the thing with ballistics. Let's talk about that.
It was Easter Sunday. We're having everybody over on Huntington Beach, and you wanted to play your guitar, and so you brought everything into the living room. But I was trying to be like the clean mom, and like, no, we can't do this right now.
I think it was me and Kyle Joy.
Yeah, you and Kyle. Yeah.
Both me and Kyle Joy wanted to have a gig.
Right now. Like, I'm trying to clean the house and get everybody.
Yeah, we set the Marshall up right at that window.
Yes.
And yep, that was cool.
Yes.
That was really cool. Look, guys. All right, let's talk ballistics. This is the trajectory of a bullet, okay? Especially a high-powered rifle. All right. I think we did it anyway, though, didn't we? No, was it Super Bowl Sunday?
It was something because I remember Stinky Boy. He went to go sit on the couch, and I was like, no.
Your
you have to go shower.
Your former.
Holly's boyfriend.
Oh, his, yeah, or hers, yeah.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah. What was his
and
name?
I had to make him go. I was like, no, you're not seeing him.
What's his name? What the fuck was his first name?
I don't remember his name, but oh my god, because I was like,
Oh man, that's gonna kind of bug me now.
yeah.
What the fuck was his name?
Yeah, but he like came out and he was like, he's gonna like sit on the
Oh, man.
You need to go shower. You're not gonna, like, no.
Yeah, because he smelled really bad. Yeah, I remember that.
Because he goes to the line cook at BJ's and he'll come home from work and not shower. So can you imagine how gross?
What was his name?
What was his name? It was
That is gonna...
um,
Oh, my God.
you know who's
It's Holly's ex, right?
Holly's ex, yeah. What was his name?
Fuck.
It's gonna come to you.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just lost in the...
Richard? Yeah. Lily?
What the fuck?
And then she stopped when I stopped.
Did it start with a C or something?
Oh my god, I cannot see this name. But I
That
can
is the
picture him. I
worst.
can picture him.
Composite sketch.
Yeah. But I was like,
We
no,
need a composite sketch.
I want to
You guys hear that? With composite sketch.
see on the
I
coast.
was a hostess outside in the winter, and the heater kept breaking, and it was Laguna Beach, and like there's beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
Like the people there were nice.
I don't remember.
It's so small there.
All right, let's talk ballistics.
And it just like
Because Candace Owens, who should be in rehab, needs to hear this. Hopefully Candace Owens is listening. Candace Owens, are you listening? You need to be in rehab. All right. Here's the thing, especially with a high-powered rifle. Now, this is a little bit different with a pistol round. Though, with a full metal jacket through and through, it happens too. Was it Cody? What the fuck was his name? God damn it. That's crazy. We need to ask Kevin.
when I have people come in.
Will Kevin remember?
I'll ask Allie what it's saying.
Okay. All right, guys. Look. So a high-powered rifle like a 30-06, it's going to travel in what you call a straight line. Now, there might be some deviation. Generally not, though, especially through soft tissue like the neck. I do think that the Charlie Kirk round deflected off of his spine. The only reason I think that is that you can actually see the vapor trail in the video, as far as I remember. The vapor trail comes in from like right here, like, but it comes out over here. So it's a very mild deflection. I think what happened is it severed the spinal cord, deflected to the right, and then exited through the jugular. That's what I think happened. Now, it's possible that that's just the hydrostatic shock from the rifle round, but the trajectory of the bullet is essentially like this. That's your bullet trajectory there. And you could see this. It's reflected by the vapor trail in the film. And so, no, it didn't come from behind. It didn't hit him in the back of the head. Wasn't an exploding... If it's an exploding microphone, guys, how come I can see the vapor trail? Nobody thought about that? These people are so dumb. It's the same people that were saying that he had a bulletproof vest, and it bounced off of his vest. It's like, first of all, a 30-06 will cut through a bulletproof vest like a hot knife through butter. Unless you have a sappy plate. You need a level 4 sappy plate to even possibly stop that round. And sometimes it will defeat a sappy plate if you're unlucky. Though generally a level 4 ceramic plate is designed to withstand a 30-06. I think. Definitely designed to withstand a 7.62. I think maybe the grain load... Because I think a 30-06 is a longer round, and so it's going to have more of a powder charge in there. It's going to be a more high-powered round than a 7.62. But yeah, I mean, there's no bouncing off of a fucking bulletproof vest. And first of all, he didn't have a bulletproof vest on because that's retarded. Second of all, even if he did, it would have just sliced through it. It wouldn't bounce off, so that's dumb. So we've settled that. The other problem is this exploding lapel microphone story that people are like, the Mossad put a bomb in his microphone. It's like, I can see a vapor trail from a high-powered rifle round streak across the camera frame. So obviously that didn't happen. We haven't mentioned the Zodiac Killer one time in this stream because no one's here. Anyway, so yeah, that didn't happen. What actually ended up happening was, and this is actually really good for demonstrating bullet trajectories. So maybe we can keep this. We'll have like strings, like line them, like that would be so sick. All right, look. Here's what the bullet did. Like this. You can see it in the video. That's the thing these people didn't account for, is that even though bullets move really fast, you can actually see them. A lot of cases. If it's not a tracer, like if it's a tracer round, then obviously you can see it, but it's not a tracer round. It's a vapor trail that you're seeing. And that what happens is the bullet's moving so fast that it's creating a shockwave through the air, and you're seeing the disruption of air pressure. So it makes what we call a vapor trail, and that's where the air is being affected by the passage of that bullet traveling through it. You can actually see that in the video. Don't watch it. It's horrible. Extremely disturbing. It actually like fucked me up for a day. There was like a day there after I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's fucked up. You know. After that, it just became a murder investigation and a ballistics investigation. Everything was okay again. But at first, I was like, whoa. Like, I shouldn't have clicked on that. And I've seen some really fucking crazy shit, though. So, like, I don't want to talk about gore stuff with you guys. That's no good. But, look, that's a dumb theory. It's not an exploding microphone. Okay, so now they have this other thing. Oh, let's read this. I found this and I got distracted by that discussion we were having there. Look at this bullshit. This is from 2 days ago. I didn't know about this. What's this thing of... Oh my god, Capturado Robinson is such a fucking loser, you guys. Look at this picture. Let's post this. He is such a dirtbag. Fuck you, Capturado. You suck, dude. You're not a good guy. Look at this picture of him bawling his eyes out. It's like, yeah, but you robbed a 2-year-old of his dad. So you're a fucking pile. I hope they fry you, Capturado. Though we should have forgiveness. You know, we should try to practice forgiveness, and my sponsor told me. I guess he's my former sponsor, but my cohort, my mentor, my one of my role models in many ways, except for one particular thing that's going to rule him out as being my sponsor, and I don't want to get into it, told me that that we're supposed to have compassion, love, and understanding towards all human beings at all times. Now, that's obviously impossible to really live by that, but it's a good metric. So even this idiot here that you see on your screen, Capturado Robinson, we're supposed to have love and understanding and forgiveness for him and what he did. But he's a dirtbag, and that's... I'm human, so I don't like him. But what he did was evil, and here's what they say. I didn't pull the trigger, but I know who did. Tyler Robinson breaks the silence in court, and what he says in the middle of the trial... It's not a... Oh my god, it's not gone to trial. That's not a trial. You guys are so stupid. You don't even know how the law... Is he at trial yet? I don't think so. I think he had probably some kind of a preliminary hearing. Something like that. Let's find out. Let's see. Okay, he's a death penalty case. I'm okay with that. I don't like him. So, accused assassin. He's a dirtbag. We understand that. I'm pretty sure... I don't think he's gone to trial yet, guys. You can't... These people don't even understand anything. They don't know how... Oh, man. Dude, this is such a disaster. No, that's not the real shooter. You can tell that that's not the real shooter. Okay? Not the same guy. Looks like him a little bit. And who knows where they got that image, because you have to fact check every pixel nowadays. Oh my god. Alright, let's read this whole post and just make fun of it. Here we go. And what he says in the middle of the trial, it's not a trial, changes the entire Charlie Kirk case. No, it doesn't. It's the ramblings of a degenerate who's trying to get out of being executed by the federal government. Because he realizes that he did a really stupid, evil thing now. And that's why you're not supposed to do that, Capturado. Look, we've all been... Anyone's a military-age male. We've all been 22 and wanted to blow somebody away, okay? But there's a difference. And when you do it, then you have to go to jail forever. And probably be lethally injected. So, okay, in a chilling moment that freezes the courtroom. Yeah, because they were probably like, who's this idiot in contempt of court? Tyler Robinson suddenly rises from his chair, his voice trembling but fierce. How can you be trembling and fierce? I didn't... We haven't mentioned the Zodiac one time. People are like, I'm so done with this guy. Suddenly rises from his chair, his voice trembling but fierce. I didn't pull the trigger, but I know who did, and it's time for the truth to come out. I mean, the truth came out when he sent those texts in, guys. Oh my god. So, I have a couple friends in real life. One in real life, and then one in real life and one on the internet that I've known for 13 years, 12 years. About 12 years. Who's like a good, like, we've never met in person, but we've known each other for over a decade. So, he's, you know, but he's also not, he just wants to believe every conspiracy, right? Guys, they're like, yeah, it was the Mossad. The Mossad did it. And it's like, okay, remember those text messages that Tyler Robinson... Let's read his text messages. Does anyone want to read them together? And then we're going to talk about the authenticity of them. Texts. Here we go. They're like, where are you going to start talking about the Zodiac Killer? Pretty soon, I think. All right, here we go. Here's the text messages from the BBC. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Drop what... Okay, Robinson. Drop what you are doing. Look under my keyboard. When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. So he can't speak English. Roommate says, what? You're joking, right? Then Robinson says, I am still okay, my love, gay, but I'm stuck... but I'm stuck in OREM for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. Guys, it's like he's giving like a running commentary of the assassination. Gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Okay, so Captain Otto Robinson is a really, really dumb guy. We all understand that, right? Honestly, it's possible that we should sentence him to a special education school more than a jail cell. But anyway, he says, I'm trying to keep this secret till I died of old age. And it's like, well, maybe don't bring your phone to the crime scene and don't bring your rifle to the crime scene and then leave your DNA on the trigger, the sniper position, and the tool used to disassemble the rifle, and then text your roommate a running commentary of the assassination. That's probably not the best way to keep it a secret, okay? I'm sorry to involve you. The roommate says, you weren't the one who did it, right? And then Robinson says, I am. I'm sorry. Come on. I am. I'm sorry. Roommate says, I thought they caught the person. Robinson says, no. They grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. Maybe that's the guy that we're seeing in these supposedly groundbreaking photos that are coming out. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate says, why? Robinson says, why did I do it? Then roommate says, yeah. Then Robinson says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Then it continues. I didn't realize it continues. Robinson says, if I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence except for your cell phone logs, DNA on the sniper position, DNA on the tool used to remove the stock from the rest of the weapon's receiver and barrel, and then the running commentary of the assassination. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate says, how long have you been planning this? Robinson says, a bit over a week, I believe. So, not very good planning. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Then Robinson continues his live stream commentary. He says, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. Are you retarded? How the expletive? So how the fuck, well, I guess, will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulges UWU on Fox New, I might have a stroke. Alright, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Robinson says, delete this exchange. Robinson says, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm gonna turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. Apparently not. Roommate, I mean, guys, look, coming from a married man, I'm not gonna assassinate Charlie Kirk. Because if I did that, then that's clearly I don't give a shit about, you know, anybody. Right? Because now he's going to be injected by the state and killed. So obviously he doesn't care. He says, I'm much more worried about you. Then he says, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Okay, so this crying idiot has just provided an entire running commentary of the assassination before anybody knew these details, right? And then people are like, well, the Mossad faked those text messages. Okay, let me explain something to you. In case you haven't heard me say it before, whoa, that's the feds. In case someone hasn't heard me say this before, defense attorneys, defense counsel, defense representation can subpoena for text message logs from a cell phone provider. So what's going to happen is Capturado's lawyers are going to subpoena the phone company, because of course they will, I hope. Otherwise he has shitty lawyers. And when they do, they're going to find out that all of those text messages actually were sent between Tyler Robinson. And so, now, of course, if you were going to fake an assassination like this or do an inside job or whatever, you wouldn't pretend that those text messages were sent if they weren't, because what will end up happening is that the defense counsels are going to subpoena the phone company, and then those texts aren't going to be there, and that's going to be like, look, this is so dumb. These people are so dumb. All right. This person on Reddit says, change my view. I have never in my life believed in a conspiracy theory. I am a facts and evidence guy. Apparently not. However, for the first time in my life, I find myself believing my gut over evidence. Well, that's part of your problem. And finding a lot of compelling reasons to back up that gut instinct. Let's go through his reasons in a second here. I'm feeling very uncomfortable with this, as I pride myself in being a critical thinker. You're doing a fucking terrible job. And so if there's a logical reason why I should not believe what I believe, as the entire media seems to be doing, I need to hear it. Okay, well, here you go. I am not a legal expert at all, clearly. So please tell me if I'm being dumb. You're being dumb. Here's why I think the texts are fake. As many have pointed out already, who talks like this? Tyler Robinson is my answer. There's a ton of cop language in here, like squad car, sweep, etc. Yeah, that's how people talk when they're criminal offenders who... Look, guys. I just did it. I literally just said criminal offender. Okay? So people talk like that. Perhaps the most damning thing is that the texts say UWU instead of OWU, which is the meme and what was written on the bullets. Why would Robinson mess up his own meme? That makes no sense. Because he's not very smart. It's super improbable that this internet troll who is refusing to cooperate with law enforcement would conveniently send messages to his whatever that contain everything they need to pin a motive on the far left, which is so obvious. They didn't... No, there's no... What? Guys, it's not the far left that did this shooting. It's one idiot. Just a dirtbag human being who's not very good and shouldn't be in society, right? Why were these court documents released at all? That usually doesn't happen. Yeah, of course it does. Remember when I was engraving bullets and he didn't explain why? What do you mean, why? It's the same reason that punk rockers write on their guitars. Look. This is my Telecaster. Okay. Everybody, let's get into it. Let's jump into the weeds here. So this is my Telecaster. Let's just take this ridiculous photo off of Tyler Robinson crying because it's really stupid. You see how it says waterboard ear-ons, and then it says nuclear bombs aren't real, and then there's a round-bottom boiling flask written on it, and then a benzene ring? So people do things like that, and they engrave their bullets, and they write on their guitars. Okay, so that's why that happened. If Tyler and roommate are so close, why does he need them? Why does he need to tell them that his dad is diehard MAGA, seemingly for the first time? No, it's not seemingly for the first time. He's mentioning it because it's just, I don't know why he does. Why did he shoot Charlie Kirk? Because he's just not a smart guy, and he's not sane. He's just a lunatic idiot. The idea that the FBI would falsify evidence like this would normally be so stupid as to be unbelievable, but Cash Paddle is an extraordinarily stupid man. That's the only thing that I agree with in this entire post. Cash Paddle is an extraordinarily stupid man. We learned that in the aftermath of the assassination. I'm sure there were some people that already knew that, but that's when I learned that, because I didn't know who Cash Paddle was before Charlie Kirk got shot. And so, yeah, no, the FBI... And then maybe we'll find out that I'm wrong. It's very possible. If the defense, but look, they're not going to act like that because it's stupid and doesn't make sense, right? So, okay, OBS is already running. That's fine. So if the defense counsel subpoenas the, I'm going to go to sleep soon. It's getting late. If the defense counsel subpoenas the phone company and they don't see those text message logs, which is what would happen if he didn't send those texts, then that's going to be, catastrophic to the government's conspiracy. So obviously the texts were sent. Otherwise the government, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the government is that fucking stupid that they forgot that defense counsels can subpoena phone companies. It's very possible that they just forgot. Doubt it. But maybe. In which case, then, yeah, I retract everything I said. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. I think what's going to happen is that the defense counsel is going to subpoena the phone records. They're going to find these text messages, and they're going to go, oh, and they're not going to talk about it ever again, right? Because they were sent. So that debunks the entire thing immediately. And you can all steal that idea from me. I came up with it all on my own. Okay? It's getting late for you guys. So this stream had nothing to do with the Zodiac killer. New Coke, he's still drinking coffee at 10:30 in the night. All right. So, that's a dumb theory. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. A criminal defense attorney came into the chat and said this, or into the thread. He says, criminal defense lawyer here. I won't quibble with any of your specific points. They definitely do raise legitimate doubts and are certainly points I would bring up in front of a jury. I'll just say this. It's one thing to try to pull a fast one on the American public through media channels that are unwilling or incapable of providing meaningful scrutiny. It's another to try to do so with evidence that will be central to a criminal trial. When data is extracted from a device, including chat data, the FBI generally provides extensive metadata and access to the entire device to defense counsel. This metadata would clearly point to when the data was created, and if it was edited after the fact, it would be a huge issue at trial, and it would even make the evidence inadmissible. The FBI knows this. Creating a fake chat would inevitably be uncovered and would be so explosive as to derail the entire prosecution. In my jurisdiction, a child molestation case was completely dismissed because the DA edited 2 words of a transcript to make the crime slightly worse. The guy was still guilty. Additionally, you have the roommate partner who could easily go sideways and say, that's not the chat I saw, or Discord could be subpoenaed by the defense and say, that's not the record of the chat we have on our servers. There's just way too many ways this thing falls apart, and they are incredibly predictable and likely. There are a lot of weird things about the chat, I agree. I just don't think the FBI fabricated it. Great fucking work. The guy who said that is named Omid, so OMIDJOONAM on Reddit, and he's a legend. Because everybody else is too fucking retarded to consider that. So maybe I should be a lawyer. Okay, moving on. What do we have here? It's been a fun one. This is why I don't even give a shit about talking about the Zodiac Killer. This is way more fun. And then my viewers are like, how dare you? Okay. I think everybody's getting tired of Zodiac. I think that's what's happening. I think it's just falling apart. Because everybody realized it was Arthur Lee Allen and they all moved on, right? I hope. I think everybody kind of thinks that now. When I came to this scene, it was not that way. I wrote that song ALA because nobody thought it was Allen, except for like 3 people on Reddit. So, okay. Oh my God, what is weeaboo culture? These are so weird. Oh my God. I can't with this. Oh, jeez. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Some idiot on Reddit says, let's do a quick review. Only real evidence photo of Mr. Skinny Jeans doesn't look exactly like Tyler, and it was AI enhanced. That's not true. No, I don't think that's true. Tyler is seen leaving in shorts, and he was arrested in shorts. Changing on roof could be bullshit to explain why Stair Guy has long jeans. Or, I can't even, like, he changed his clothes because he thought that that would be leet. Okay? He thought that that would be enough. But when you bring your phone to a murder and then you leave your DNA on the trigger, it's not enough. Tyler's, okay. Granny says Tyler didn't hunt and never shot a gun. It's, okay. I'm going to reword that to not sound stupid. Granny says Tyler didn't hunt and never discharged a firearm, far as she knew. Beginner's luck. Guys, here's what shooting a gun means, okay? Let me break this down for you guys. I know that this is me being, what does Ryan Burns call it? What does Ryan Burns call it when he, like, nitpicks things? I'm going to nitpick right here. So, shooting a gun means that you have an artillery battery, okay, like a 105 millimeter howitzer or an 88 millimeter flak or something like that, right? And then you fire a weapon at it, like maybe even a bow and arrow. You could shoot a bow and arrow, right? Shooting a gun means that you go up to an artillery battery and then you shoot it with something. That's different. A gun is not... I don't even like that word gun. I hate using that word. And sometimes I accidentally do, but I really don't mean to. I really like to say firearm wherever I can. We know roommate got grilled hard and threatened... And it's just me being nitpicky. We know roommate got grilled hard and threatened aggressive posturing interview. What the fuck does that mean? Kimmel said the guy that shot Kirk... Media has already tried and convicted... What? No, the media didn't convict him. Nobody's convicted him. He's not been convicted. Stop making up bullshit that you saw on the internet. That you're like, oh, he was convicted in the court of public opinion. I saw that on a internet website, and I'm smart. No, he was never convicted. You can't get convicted by the media. That's impossible. Okay? He has not confessed as they claimed he did. What do you mean? He wrote it in, I mean... Maybe not a legal confession, not like a official, court confession. That's different, But he definitely wrote about, he gave a running commentary on Discord about how he was trying to retrieve his bolt-action rifle. How else would he have known that this was a rare old firearm? It's a old 1898 Mauser weapon. It's like from fucking 100-something years ago. He has not confessed as they claimed he did. I mean, read the text messages. It's pretty cut and dry. As pointed out, he literally said, I'm the guy. What did he say? I am? Or I did or something like that? Yeah, he said, I am. The roommate says, you're not the one that did it, right? And he says, I am. That sounds like a confession to me. As pointed out, way too much evidence given in the text to help convict. Suspicious and easily faked. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not easily faked. You people need to stop making shit up on the internet. That would be nice. Can anyone just say something that's true for a second here? Can we have people say true things on the internet more? annoying. Clown Carl says, have you considered that the guy is awkward and cringe? That he talks my lady style to his partner because he's terminally online? Yes, I've considered that, and probably that's a very accurate take. Take a minute to consider the perspective of a law enforcement or G-man tasked with making fake texts. How the hell would this be what they generate? Ask ChatGPT to make up a text conversation between a shooter and their trans girlfriend. You will get something more, quote, normal. Life doesn't look like movies, TV, or even social media. People are fucking weird. You can say that 4 times. You can muse about conspiracy theories, but need to accept that far more likely what we are seeing is reality. The truth is often stranger than fiction. Thank you, Clown Carl, for having a brain. There's body cam footage? I haven't seen that. It's been out for a month? What? Wish I knew about that. I actually find the manner of speech believable after watching the body cam footage. He talks like a boomer and he seems autistic. But what's less believable to me is how much specific evidence he's dropping in those he's talks like a boomer and he seems autistic. So then Intrepid Jager says, people like this are frequently arrogant enough to assume they won't get caught. You can say that 5 times. Or they vastly underestimate modern digital and physical forensic evidence collection. See Mangione and having a thorough enough plan for his attack, but being an amateur dipshit in the fieldcraft, like drinking out of a water bottle on camera and leaving it there for DNA analysis. Yeah. I mean, is he retarded? There may also be some... This is the thing, guys. Smart people don't do this. Okay? Smart people don't do assassinations because they're smart, and doing assassinations is fucking stupid. So we're not dealing with, you know, smart people. People are like, oh, the Unabomber was so smart. It's like, no, he's not. Smart people don't send bombs through the mail because they think that that's stupid to do that, usually. They go, oh, but he's smart, but he's evil. It's like, no, he's retarded. He published his manifesto in the New York Times and then got recognized by his own brother, so he's an idiot. People willing to kill for political reasons aren't always going to be operating on a rational basis. Are they ever? Trio of terrors on Reddit. People willing to kill for political reasons aren't always going to be operating on a rational basis. They never are. That's not a rational thing to do. If you're a rational person, you'd be like, I don't like Charlie Kirk, and I wish he were dead. And then you would be like, but I'm not going to get lethally injected by the federal government because they will capture me if I try to kill him. Right? So that's not smart. So we all understand that smart people never do that because they have the ability to critically think through their circumstances and then not do those things. Okay? I'm sure he still would have been convicted if he'd immediately... Oh, Dylan Roof murdered 9 people and still had the gun in his car and then just casually told the story of his hate crime to Shelby, North Carolina police. But yeah, because I think he wanted... Yeah. I don't think he really had much intention of getting away. I'm sure he would still have been convicted if he'd immediately lawyered up and shut the fuck up, but he talked his way into a terrible stay at USP Terre Haute. Guys, it's so simple. The defense counsel, okay, is going to subpoena the phone records of Tyler Robinson, Captain Tyler Robinson. And in those logs, if they don't find the text messages that we've all read, then the case gets thrown out. Completely, almost. Because it would indicate that the federal government is fraudulent. And then yeah. So it would be a mistrial, probably. Might get retried on other evidence, but at least that evidence would be inadmissible. And good luck finding a jury that hasn't read these texts, because they were plastered all over CNN and the BBC. If they were faked, that would be quickly and easily exposed in court, and the prosecution would lose the easiest case of all time. That's his Martin_Samuelson on Reddit, and he's smart. And then Sparkle Doom Says, this is the fact that's most convincing to me. The conspiracy can't go all the way down to the defense attorney and everyone in the courtroom. If these were faked, they will present metadata, expert forensic witnesses, etc., easily disproving it. This is the only reason I believe they are real, because they sure as shit read as fake. It's just because that's what weirdos fucking sound like. You know what I mean? Like, guys, have you ever read Eric Harris's diaries from Columbine? He, like, gives you a running commentary of all the bombs they're building and how they have guns and they named their guns different things. I can't remember what they're called. We'll have to look into it. It's like Shirley or some stupid shit. But, yeah, Eric Harris wrote an entire fucking journal about the exact kinds of bombs that he was building and all the same kinds of guns and everything. So these people act like this. 1, cop language might be weird, but we don't know what sort of shows he likes to watch. He grew up around firearms, so he might fancy police shows. Yeah, he almost certainly does. This is a stupid point. I don't care. I don't know what OWO even means. I'm not from that group of people. I grew up on the internet before everyone became a fucking furry. It was definitely dumb, but if they were unsure that they survived the whole situation, they'd probably want to contact someone they seemingly love. Right? If it's real, they released it to make it seem like he was some leftist with a trans lover who killed Charlie. And that's what happened. I mean, he did. He was a leftist with a trans lover that killed Charlie Kirk. That's correct. Guys, this is so dumb. This is honestly the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Thank you. Terminally whelmed. The shooter is still alive, as is his roommate. This is so fucking dumb. If the texts were fake or falsified, either of them could immediately come out and debunk it by going to the media. It would completely ruin the case and probably lead to some kind of mistrial, that's what I just said, while ruining the professional reputations of everyone involved. I mean, Cash Paddle doesn't really need any help on that. But, you know, the idea that Utah local police, the local prosecutor, state official, federal law enforcement, and the DOJ are all coordinating is so fucking laughable. You ever tried picking a place to eat amongst a big friend group? Now amplify that by 100,000. There are tens, if not hundreds, of people involved in this case between local, state, and federal officials. Not a single one of them is cracking under the weight of this supposed cover-up. No, not buying it. Yep, correct. Not to mention that this evidence is going to have to go before a grand jury of his peers to secure an indictment. Is this entire state of Utah involved in the conspiracy too? Apparently. They're saying the Mossad did it. So Israel. They're actually saying now Israel is involved, which is retarded. Guys, Israel's bad at these kind... And I'm not pro-Palestine at all. They're all fucking stupid as shit. You know, but Israel is crazy enough that you don't need to blame them for a cut and dry... dead to rights rifle shooting to like slander them. You can just point to everything that they do every day. What does COPE mean? Does anyone know? What is COPE? Let's find out on Urban Dictionary. COPE Urban Dictionary. Okay. What? No. That's not what they meant. What? I don't even understand what this person's saying. Guys, can we speak English? If I'm not speaking English, tell me. Alright, so let's see. Yeah. Have you ever spent... So, High Wattage says, have you ever spent any time in the company of someone who plays video games for 50 plus hours a week? Have you ever texted with them or chatted with them on Discord? I have, and Robinson's texts remind me very much of precisely the kind of filter writing I've seen when interacting with folks whose entire lives are spent playing video games online. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Remember when supposedly Captorado Robinson's grandma said that he's never fired a rifle? There's like pictures of him firing rifles. So that's a problem for her. It's what we call cognitive dissonance. It's where you don't want to admit or don't want to believe that your grandson just shot someone in the neck, and so you just come up with fake, easily disprovable bullshit. to justify that predetermined conclusion. It's because you're in trauma. That's why she thinks that when there's photos of him with rifles. Okay? So, yeah. Guys, when the FBI falsifies evidence, and yes, that happens, you know, I think that happens. Could be wrong, you know. I'm not sure how much they really even need to do that, because usually there's just bad guys, like the dumbass Unabomber. And then what happens is they can just focus on that and not have to waste their time faking text messages, because that's not. Nobody wants to do that. There's no reason to do that. Why not just prosecute the shooter? Oh, you can't because it's Israel. It's like, you guys are so dumb. That's the problem. There's so much anti-Israel, anti-Palestine crap going around online that everybody just like blames everything that happens on Israel. They're like, oh, I can't find my phone. It must be the Mossad. It's like, are you fucking retarded? Oh my god. And then I like how people are like, oh, the text messages were made by AI. It's like, I'm pretty sure they would have a real guy make it up. Why would you use ChatGPT to make up a 2-page? Like, these people are just so... They've used ChatGPT for fucking everything, like all their homework and everything now. It's gotten so ridiculous that now they think everything is about ChatGPT. So we've already gone for an hour and not mentioned the Zodiac Killer one time. So, I'm just going to leave the title of this video that... Is that false advertising? I think so. Man. This is so dumb. Now, if the defense subpoenas the chat logs and then they're not there, then I'll change my opinion. That's how we follow the evidence, but, oh, here we go. Tyler Robinson. And then if he's not the shooter, why would he turn himself in? We know that he did that. We know for a fact he did that. He marched into the Utah, Washington County Sheriff's Office and said, "Hi, I killed Charlie Kirk." So, why would he do that? Oh, it was Israel. Then why did this guy just march into the Sheriff's Office and say he did it? That's retarded. This is so open and shut. This is so ridiculous. This is what happens when a 22-year-old does a crime. You know? This is exactly what happens when you're 22 and you shoot someone because you're an idiot. Happens all the time. Don't need Israel for that. Increase death penalty case. But yeah, give him the death penalty. Fuck it. I don't care. He's a dirtbag. So he's getting a public defender. But look, a public defender is required to give you the best defense that they can do. For example, I was looking at serious charges and a public defender saved my ass. And that public defender went to bat for me. You know, I pretty much told them I don't want to go to jail no matter what you do. So just figure something out where I don't go to jail. And they did. Like, I went to jail when I was arrested, but afterward, like, I was OR'd and then I, had hearings and stuff like that. We got all the way to the plea hearing, sentencing, and stuff. I think they might have been separate things. I can't remember for sure. It's been so long. It was blocked out. But I think No, I think it happened the same day. I think I entered a plea and then I was sentenced the same day. Not too sure. But I already knew it was going to happen when I pled guilty to the crimes that the public defender had reduced the felonies to. And, like, Robinson can go to his defense counsel and be like, hey, can you subpoena Discord? And they'll be like, yeah, we have to do that. In fact, it might get turned over in discovery right away. So... And then they're going to have people from Discord who are going to testify and do... Guys, you can't fake that. You can't. The whole case is going to be a mistrial if you try to fake that. They're not going to do that. And you have to consider that this guy marched into the Washington County... This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh, they could have took control of his phone. Come on. Now you're just looking for anything that... Oh, and he didn't notice. He wasn't like, wait a minute, who's sending text from my phone? This is so stupid. This guy says, ChatGPT says, Tyler Robinson texts fake. Well, maybe your problem is to stop using ChatGPT because you're an idiot. Look at this dumbass. This guy looks like he flew an airplane into the World Trade Center, and he's like, Tyler Robinson's texts are fake. And it's like, aren't you that guy that went to flight school and didn't learn how to land? You look exactly like Muhammad Atta. Hani Hanjor. Hani Hanjor is over here fucking trying to tell us that he used ChatGPT, and now he knows that it's truth, and it was the Mossad. And of course, it's this Palestinian-looking guy. You know. It's so dumb. Remember, guys, this is the demographic of people who throw rocks at tanks. They literally throw rocks at tanks. Then they're like, why did we get blown away? It's like, because you threw a rock at a tank. You know? Really, really stupid. So... It's so stupid. The whole fucking thing is so stupid. I'd like to get some photogrammetry done of that tent and see if it blocks off... Wow. I don't think it was the next day. I think it was 33 hours, wasn't it? Or are they saying that... Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Wow. Just ridiculous. So we didn't talk about the Zodiac Killer one time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's bedtime. I think we've pretty much done a damper on this ridiculous theory. You know, I really wanted to talk about Horan, but no one cares anymore because we all know he's crazy. Guys, it's things like this that it's making me just not be a conspiracy theorist at all anymore about anything. The only thing I'll stick to my guns on is 9/11. That's the only thing I'm going to stick to. I think at this point. That's because it's too obvious. The real, guys, with 9/11, the real conspiracy theorists are the people who think that dudes with box cutters did it. That's a conspiracy theory. That didn't happen. Everybody knows that didn't happen. That's ridiculous. That's provably didn't happen. There's no changing that for me, I don't think, at this point. I mean, I have to see some evidence that can't exist. So... Oh, Alex Stein. Isn't he that guy that sold out? He used to be cool. He used to be really cool. He was funny for a little bit. He was funny when he was on Jaren's show. I never talked to him, though. I talked to Jaren a lot, actually. But I don't... Alex Stein, not really. Never, actually. So... Well, that about wraps up all that stuff. Look at this dumbass. Look at this guy. I wish you could see him. He looks exactly like Cash Paddle. I think it's Cash Paddle. Cash Paddle like dresses up as a comedian and then says ChatGPT. Looks like him. Okay, this is from somebody on X says. Let's see. Thank you. Text messages between Tyler Robinson and his roommate, official site, and court documents in Charlie Kirk case are authentic. Sources confirm. Of course they are. Because you don't fake. Look at this dipshit, man. I didn't shoot him, but I know who did. Yeah, you. Guys, if he didn't shoot Charlie Kirk, why did he jump off a 2-story roof and then march into the Washington County Sheriff's Office and say that? Yeah, he was shot from the side, wasn't he? It's so fucking dumb. Yeah, he was shot in the side of the neck, I think. The exit wound's on the left side of his neck. You can see it in the video. I don't even care what the autopsy stuff says because I watched the video. You can see the exit wound. His left side of his neck completely explodes. So, you know, there's an exit wound there. Gotta be. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. Is that real? No, that can't be real. That would get blocked by, you know, censoring or whatever. Alright, guys, that's some more. Wow. Wow. Is that true? Expedition Bigfoot got erased from the world? What did they do? Take the Wikipedia down? That's the thing. You can't even believe anything that these people are saying anymore. It's just so ridiculous. It's on IMDb. It's still here. It's so dumb. Apparently they got close to a Sasquatch camp. Sasquatch have camps now, guys. And I believe in Sasquatch. I don't think they have camps. It's kind of weird. Go out there and there's like a tent and disassembled bikes. Oh my god, the CIA. Dude, the CIA didn't fucking shoot Charlie Kirk. That's retarded. Yeah. No. What are you guys talking about? No exit wound. You can... They're trying to bait people into posting the video, I think is what they're doing. They're like, no, there's no exit wound. Show me the proof. And it's like, it's on video. What do you want me to do? Post the video? I'm not going to do that. It's a fucking horrible video. Candace Owens needs to be in rehab, so I don't care what she says. I'm tired of everyone talking about fucking Candace Owens. She's retarded or traumatized or on meth. So even when I was on meth, I wasn't as bad as Candace Owens, guys. Candace Owens is an example of someone who smokes meth and can't handle it at all. You know? Like, just snaps. Just gone. It's like, who are you? They don't know. Who are you? I don't know. I'm Candace Owens, I think. You know? She's insane. She needs to be in a treatment center. For her own good. Because she's saying the most ridiculous shit. Look at the shit she's posting as evidence. Candace Owens. Remember how I used to do that thing where I'd say we're going to wrap up and then I would go on for like another hour? Candace Owens denied entry to Australia. Yeah, they're worried she's going to do all their meth. You know? Good. Don't let her enter Australia. You guys are better off without her. She's fucking insane. Yep. So Candace Owens has been banned from Australia, which I find fucking hilarious and very much justified. Good job, Australia. Good job, Jarrah White. So I think Jarrah's going to come around, you know? I think Jarrah's going to eventually believe in the moon landings, and then he'll be really cool. Because those happened. Which is weird to think. Australia, how dare you besmirch right-wing crackpot. Dude, Australia is so cool. Good job. Can we ban her from the United States now, too? What happens if you get banned from every country? Where would she go? The ocean? Oh my god. Guys, she really needs help, man. Candace Owens, guys, we need to get her in rehab. Operation Rehab Owens. I think we should try that. Let's do let's have Anonymous do Operation Candace Detox. I'm going to write the press release. I haven't written an anonymous press release in 11 years. I'm going to write one, though. I think I can still do it. It'd probably be better now. It's been about 11 years since I wrote a press release for Anonymous. I'm going to do it. And we're going to call it Operation Detox Candace, or Operation Candace Detox, something like that. We're going to try to get her into detox. We're not going to hack anything. We're not going to commit any crimes. We're just going to try to get her medical insurance. Get her into a rehab. She needs to go there. Candace Owens loses appeal over Australian visa rejection. Deserves it. Thank you, Australia. You are better off without this fucking crazed, psychotic lunatic in your country spreading her bullshit. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I think they were really good friends and it just fucked her up and she just can't handle it. Which is, it's sad, it's tragic, and she needs to be in rehab. So we're going to write it. Should we do it right now? Is it too late at night? It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night and I don't have anything really going on. Nothing early tomorrow. So we can do it. Let's do it. Should I edit the name of the stream? This has been a really fun stream. I actually don't want to talk about the Zodiac Killer anymore. So if you're here for the Zodiac Killer, maybe unsubscribe. I don't want to tell you that. That's not true. But at the same time, we're just out of stuff to say. It was obviously Arthur Lee Allen. Everyone knows that. And I think that we can move on from that story now. You know. It's obvious. I like making identikits and stuff. I like doing composites of the Zodiac Killer. I like talking about it sometimes with you guys. It's fun. But I'm not going to be like Drew Beeson and have my whole... Drew Beeson's podcast is called The Zodcast. It's like, do you have PTSD? You know? You have to come up with a new name, Drew. And he shot, guys, Drew and I were buddies, but the problem is, man, it's not Don Chaney, and he won't even acknowledge that I've proved, well, I didn't prove anything. He won't acknowledge my hypothesis about Don Chaney, and he continues to say it's Don Chaney. It's obviously not Don Chaney. And then I think I got banned from the DB Cooper subreddit for saying that I suspected that Drew Beeson was allowing his personal biases to influence. Yeah, so he doesn't like me anymore for sure, guys. I think it started when I started saying that he was going to snipe me. And I did the whole thing, like, this was well before Drew Beeson and a Sturmgewehr. Do I have that picture still? Drew Beeson with a Sturmgewehr? Let's find out. What is this image? What is that? Oh my god. What is this, guys? What the fuck is this? Oh, that's the fucking Scott Radigan thing. We can remove all that stuff. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not going to dwell on that. It was fun. I like this picture, though. This is a fun picture. It's Tyler Robinson. Guys, I was so excited when they caught him. Because, I was chasing this offender before we knew who he was. I was here at the start, man. This case has been a big one. I've been really interested in this case, actually. And I was making psychological or like profiles of the offender before we knew who he was. I was I did did I do any composites? I don't think I did. I don't know why I didn't. Kind of weird. You know, I kept trying to make identikits of Tyler Robinson, and they never land, and I'm not sure why. He just has a weird look to him. But this has been a big case. Like, it's been really exciting because I have such strong opinions about it. I think that the video was like very effective on my brain. It was like, this is the most horrible thing that I've seen since that chainsaw beheading that the Sinaloa cartel did. Was that them? Might have been other guys. I've always had good experiences with the Sinaloa cartel. I like them. So, isn't that crazy? People are like, what? I've never had a problem with them. Personally, I know they do some crazy shit. I think that might have been them with the chainsaw thing. So maybe that's not good. But that was the video of the Charlie Kirk thing was like, oh my god, and I was chasing that offender from the start. So I like that picture that I made of when they caught him. I was really excited. It was huge, guys. I was refreshing. I was all twacked out. I was sitting there like spinning a pipe, fumando, and I was hitting refresh like every 2 seconds on this story, like literally for 36. Well, not that long because it didn't go that long. It was probably like 24 hours. There was a solid 24 hours where I was awake the whole time, just hitting refresh on this case. And then one of those refreshes, it was like identified. I was like, fuck, we got him. Power to the people. And then we have this picture of Cap Dorado. So I was really excited about this one. It was just like a celebration. I made this image. It shows him, and then it shows the mysterious roof climbing stairwell shooter that we all saw. And then I was just over the moon because I was like, we got him, you know. So it's been fun chasing this guy. He helped us a lot. Didn't make it hard. Marched into the Washington County Sheriff's Office and turned himself in, so that was cool. Thanks. Made our lives easy. At least we don't have to argue about it for the next 58 years like we did with the fucking stupid-ass Zodiac killer. You know? Would have been nice if Arthur Lee Allen just marched into the San Francisco Police Department and told us it was him. That would have been great. We all know what you did, Allen. You know? But, and Ross Tracy's just, like, not having it. You know what it is? One of the breaking points with Drew Beeson was that he had Horan on his show. And I was like, dude, have you seen what Horan said about Manny Grossman? Manny Grossman is a really cool guy. That's the other funny thing. These people talk all this trash on Manny Grossman. It's like, have you ever talked to him? He's a really nice guy. Really level-headed, just cool. Just smart. Knows what's up. Isn't buying the bullshit. And then to have, like, I would not have Thomas Henry Horan on this show. I don't want to give him an amplifier. Ever. And I know it's a small, it's not like I have no grandeur here, guys. There's no delusions of grandeur here. It's not like I think that I'm more famous than Thomas Henry Horan, because of course I'm not. I don't have a show on Peacock. However, I'm not going to give him the opportunity to spread his insanity somewhere else that he doesn't currently have, because it's insane. Would I have Manny Grossman on this show? Hell yeah. I've been on Manny's show. It was a great experience. We had a blast, dude. You know? Being on Manny Grossman's show was one of the coolest things that I've done on the internet. I was in Anonymous and everything. I was really happy about that. You know, still am. But we had a lot of fun. He's smart as fuck. A lot of smart friends, guys who were there when the Son of Sam was running around. And Manny's just awesome. He's never done anything bad that I've seen. And Horan is like calling him like a CIA agent and like crazy shit, Horan says. He's like, Manny Grossman is working for the process church and he worships the devil. It's like, no, he doesn't. Not at all. Manny Grossman doesn't work for the process church or the final judgment, dude. And that's not even a thing. It was like two guys, like 100 years ago, were like smoking too much weed in a garage, and they were like, we will call ourselves the process church of the final judgment. And then Horan's like, Manny's in that. No, he's not. Manny Grossman wasn't even alive when that group all died of LSD overdoses. Got arrested for, like, horrible things. You know, Manny wasn't even born yet. Manny's so cool, dude. And then, like Drew Beeson, you have Horan on your show? And they're like buddies. And Drew's like, yeah, if I find out it's not Don Chaney, I'm going to be really buying this Zodiac killer hoax. It's like, you're insane then. Because there's no hoax. You know? There's just no hoax. It's not a hoax. Oh, but they were trying to sell newspapers. They put Zodiac on page 4. How many newspapers are you going to sell that way? Not many. Coincidence? Many is only one letter away from Manny. He must worship the devil. And then Horan's like, Blur! It's like, you're insane. Manny Grossman doesn't worship the devil, guys. I don't think. I've never seen anything to indicate that. You know? Oh, and by the way, Manny, if you do see this, I'm not sure you will. I'm going to put your name in the video title, so then maybe that'll draw your attention. You'll be like, oh, I'm going to watch. I even backed away from the microphone just for you. So, hopefully that helps. But, Manny invited me to a really cool place. Online. And I feel like I'm in the inner circle now. So, hopefully Horan doesn't think I worship the devil, because actually I'm the opposite of that. So, you know. But these people are crazy, dude. They think everything is a conspiracy. They think I want to invent a conspiracy theory just to see if they'll believe it. I might do it. I love when people do things like that. Like, when did we had that happen? I don't remember what it was. Oh, LulzSec did that. They invented a conspiracy theory about them. They created fake chat logs with, like, French hackers and all these things that were not real. And then they spread it to the media, and the media just bought it. The media was like, oh my god, LulzSec is the CIA. And then people were like, have you seen those chat logs? And it's like, LulzSec made those chat logs. And it's hilarious. There have been other things like that, where people invented those. I mean, you know. Oh, also, it's not that late, because I went to the Dirty 930 meeting, and I came back at 11-something. So we can still keep going on this. It's also a Friday night, and that was on a Wednesday. I had to wake up at 7:30 the next morning, so we can keep going. I don't care. For at least a little bit. Look, guys. You know what? I'm gonna. Oh man, this is a rough one for me, because I wrote a song about him, and we're friends. But I'm gonna publicly just disconnect myself from Drew Beeson. Because, dude, I wouldn't do that if he just thought Don Chaney was the Zodiac killer. That's fine. It's not true, but it's fine. When you start hanging out with people who call gardeners devil worshippers, or he's a landscaper, I'm sure there's a difference. Like, reputable historians with a really solid head on their shoulder, who, like, build lawns for a living and are, like, just awesome researchers with, like, gangster sources and, like, direct connections to the NYPD. You know, when you start calling those people devil worshippers, and then you, like, or you, like, have the people who call them devil worshippers on your show and then, like, publicly align yourself with them, it's not a good look, man. So, I'll never be on the Zodcast. For a little while, I thought about it. I was like, man, like, this was a long time ago. It's like 2 years ago. I was like, I hope someday I'm on the Zod. That's never going to happen now. It won't. It's not up to me. It's up to other forces. So. But anyway, the Zodcast it's not good, guys. It's not a good show. I mean, you know, it was fun for a little bit, and then it was like, just, I don't like doing this with Drew Beeson. Like, this is hard to do, to say these things about the Zodcast. But I would say Don Chaney is very thoroughly ruled out as a suspect for the Zodiac Killer. In fact, Don Chaney was one of the most beneficial informants that we had in the case. And he definitely didn't shoot anybody. And so, you know, if it was just that I would be, you know, Drew Beeson would be great. It's when you start having Thomas Henry Horan on your show. And I used to listen to Horan. Then I realized he was really not good. Like not good, guys. You know. The Myth of the Zodiac Killer is a really stupid book. And I didn't even read it. The Great Zodiac Killer Hoax book. There's 2 of them. Because, you know. I used to listen to Horan, and then I found out what he was saying about Manny Grossman, and then I analyzed the 2, and I was like, okay, Manny Grossman, Thomas Henry Horn. Manny Grossman, Thomas Henry Horn. And I was like, oh, this guy's a bad guy. I'm going to align with Grossman. So now I have a bunch of serial killer groupies, like, I don't want to say their name because I don't want to get... I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say anymore. I get censored for everything. You guys see how it says down here, the most banned prowler online? Wouldn't surprise me if I get myself banned again. But there was a guy. No, it's not a guy. It's a girl. But for some reason, it spells their name like a man. Anyway, they've been shadow banned from my channel. Or muted from my channel. Because they're friends with a serial killer. And I don't like that. So you're not allowed to comment on my channel anymore. You know, you said horrible things about good people, and you're friends with David Berkowitz, so can't have that here, you know. And it's not like, oh, but how dare you, freedom of speech. Well, medium.com still lets you post. You just can't post on Nuke Hoax, because what happens is it's gonna waste my time. I'm learning from Owen Benjamin, dude. I'm like banhammer. Like, I'm gonna start doing that. I need my own Coddington. I had a Coddington, and then he got a life. You know. Now he's not here anymore. So, but he was cool. And if he ever wants to come back, he will still be an administrative moderator on my channel. His name is Archangel Michael, and he's awesome. And I used to tell him, I'd say, hey, ban that guy, Coddington. And then he would ban them. And I was like, this is cool. So that's my Coddington bear. And don't know where he went. Hopefully. I actually have his SoundCloud. So maybe if I message him there, he'll see it. And I'll be like, hey, what the fuck happened, man? I'm not talking about Zodiac anymore. Want to come back? Because we were going to create a 12-step program about the Zodiac Killer. Call it like Zodiac Anonymous, and it was going to be for like researchers of the Zodiac Killer who are like realizing that their lives had become unmanageable. I'm ready to do that now, by the way. And so if you hear this, Archangel, come back. You know. But where were we going with that? Oh, banning people. Yeah, Criminal Justice Chris is banned from this channel. Because I don't want to have David Berkowitz's friend on here spreading lies. And then they told me, they were like, the letter that you sent to Berkowitz under the guise of Christianity, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It wasn't under the guise. I was asking him an honest question. I really wanted to know. Berkowitz won't say it. All he'll do is run his ministry thing he does. And maybe if that's real, cool, great. I mean, he doesn't make up for Donald Laurier or anything. But, I'm not even going to go as far as Manny. I won't call him a fake Christian. He might totally believe he's saved by Jesus Christ, and who am I to take that away from him? It's totally a thing. You can be the worst dirtbag in the entire fucking world and still claim Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, and if you do, all the power to you. You know, I even, and this is a really controversial opinion, but I think if there's a heaven, if David Berkowitz is being sincere, I think he would be allowed into it. If. You know. It's a totally hypothetical situation. And that's a really Manny might even get mad at me for that. But notice that I said that if David Berkowitz is being sincere. I don't think he really is anyway. I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, there's some weird stuff going on with him. He calls himself the Son of Hope. I think if you're the son of Sam, and then you get saved, and then you call yourself the Son of Hope, it's like, aren't you still kind of doing that other thing, though, by calling yourself that? Like, you have to get a whole new name. You can't be the Son of Hope. That's a really murky territory. It doesn't look good, though. It looks really bad. Because it's like you're still kind of capitalizing off your fame as the son of Sam. Infamy, rather. And, yeah, and I don't know about that. Oh, but we did talk about Horan now. Okay, let's close the stream talking about Horan. And then that's fair. If we ever close. This has been a recurring theme on this show. People are like, he's gone crazy. The thing is, I'm more rational than ever. Ever before. Right now, I am more logical, fair, and sane than like ever before, I think. And I don't just call Drew Beeson out because you can think that the Zodiac is Don Chaney. It's not. But if you have Horan on your show and he spent the last 20 years just libeling people, just calling them devil worshippers, and they're like not devil worshippers at all. Not even like close. Is Manny going to be mad at me for that thing about David Berkowitz redeeming himself? Because I think anyone can do it. It doesn't mean we should let him out. He should still be denied parole. You know, I don't want to be in a society where David Berkowitz is running around. I'm not a fan of that idea. You know, and he might be 95 and you could disarm him with a toothpick now. That's fine. But, yeah, I mean, when you shoot Donna Lauria in the head, you have to get locked up forever. Because we can't have that running around. It's not safe for other people. Because we don't know if he's going to do it again. He could do it again, guys. You could let David Berkowitz out of jail tomorrow, and he might go to New York, have a traumatic stress reaction, trip out, and think, all I know how to do is shoot people. And he might go back to it. So it's not safe. So you have to keep him locked up. But could he redeem himself before a creator and a savior? I think so. And man, he might not like that, but that's not a... I'm not a pro Berkowitz at all. I'm very anti Berkowitz, as you know. I think he should be denied parole, etc. But these people are like friends with him, like Criminal Justice Chris, and then who's that other idiot that was on the Franzese show with him? Who's that guy? What's his name? He's a nightmare. He wouldn't even let David Berkowitz get a word in. He answered every question for him. It's like, are we interviewing you or David Berkowitz here? You loser. Get your slick back Italian hair the fuck out of here. Let the man talk. And he didn't... Did he... Dude has... Oh my god. Remember, guys, there's still people alive who are family members of the people that David Berkowitz shot. Did he even address them? Or did he just talk about his poor childhood the entire time? I have to watch the interview again. But it just comes across as like such a fucking like joke, Berkowitz. Look at... Oh my god, dude. Who's that guy? It's his spiritual advisor. And also, Criminal Justice Chris, you're wrong. I didn't write that letter under the guise of Christianity, and you're an idiot for thinking that. You just don't understand the circumstances. You're just not smart. In fact, you're just out of your lane. And your website sucks, by the way. So, what's that guy? Who is his spiritual advisor? David Berkowitz, spiritual advisor. Let's find out. Guys, I read Berkowitz. We on Manny's show when I was on there. Let's see. Oh, I found him. Dr. Michael Caparelli, a pastor and academic who conducted 100 hours of interviews with Berkowitz for his book, Monster Mirror, 100 Hours with David Berkowitz, once known as the Son of Sam. Caparelli, who is also an acquaintance of the convicted killer, is featured in a 2025 documentary and believes Berkowitz's spiritual transformation is legitimate. Maybe it is. Would I hang out with him and talk for him? Probably not. Roxanne Torriello said, a minister and regular visitor to Berkowitz in prison. In a 2017 interview with People, she stated that Berkowitz deeply grieves his past actions. Does he? He talks about it on the internet a lot. Yeah, maybe it's true. You know? I hope it's true. I hope that Berkowitz got to that point. That would be great. But we should never let him out of jail. Or prison. Because it's dangerous. People have to be kept alive. So we can't have him doing that. I'm wondering if Manny's going to be mad at me for it. I think that not. I don't think I've said anything bad here. I hope not. You know, maybe it's real. Maybe Berkowitz did convert. Great for him. I hope that that's true. I hope, yeah. AriseandShine.org, the official website of David Berkowitz. I was once a prisoner, but now I'm free. Just as long as you're not free in society, where you can shoot people, you know. I kind of want to read this stuff. Shit, man. I mean, it could be real. This could totally be real. Let's read Berkowitz's apology on here. Let's judge from this. Okay, let's judge from this and let's see what we think of Berkowitz right now. Here we go. As I have communicated many times throughout the years, I am deeply sorry for the pain, suffering, and sorrow I have brought upon the victims of my crimes. I grieve for those who are wounded and for the family members of those who lost a loved one because of my selfish actions. I regret what I've done and am haunted by it. That's a warning sign right there, I think. I believe, and this is just a personal thing, personal belief. I don't regret any of my crime in my life. You know? I'm not haunted by it. Because, I didn't fucking blow people away with a 44. Maybe that's a different story, but, I don't regret any of my crime because it was God's path for me. You understand? And it was meant to learn things and to not repeat those things. So if someone says, I regret these things and he's haunted by it, it's like, how can you be haunted by it if you're saved by Jesus Christ? And maybe he can. I don't know. I can't speak, I'm not God. So, but it's just a warning sign. It's just something to consider. If he's haunted by it, has he really been saved? Should he not be like, yeah, I did those things. I'm, not going to do them again. And not saying don't make an amends to the people that you shot in the face. But, regret and haunting, that's concerning. Makes me wonder. Not a day goes by that I do not think about the suffering I have brought to so many. That doesn't sound... No, I don't think I believe this guy. Likewise, I can't even comprehend all the grief and pain they live with now, and these individuals have every right to be angry with me too. Well, of course they do. They have free will, right? Yeah, they could totally be mad at you. They have every right to be angry at you. They have every right to... I don't know. But yeah, they do. Nevertheless, I apologize for the crimes I committed. My continual prayer is that as much as is possible, these hurting individuals can go on with their lives. See, that is a little better. That's the kind of thing that you can say, and I believe it more. Saying he's haunted by it is like, I thought you were, don't you have Jesus Christ? Why are you haunted? In addition, I am not writing this apology for pity or sympathy. I simply believe that such an apology is the right thing to do. No, you should try to make an amends. Not apologize for it. I'm so sorry I shot you. That's retarded and gay. What you should do is someone needs to introduce him to the 12 steps. I think we need to do that. And by the grace of God, I hope to do my... Oh, here we go. This is better. And by the grace of God, I hope to do my very best to make amends whenever and wherever possible, both to society and to my victim. I agree with that. That's good. The problem with Berkowitz here is that we're seeing, like, good, bad, good, bad. Good. It's the same duality bullshit that he was doing in 1976. If he really... And I don't know. It's a bit short, by the way. It's a bit short. It's fucking, 4 sentences. So it's like, I don't know if I believe him, but maybe it's true. Let's check his testimony page here. It's in English. We're going to get it in English. Let me read it in Spanish. My name is David Berkowitz, and I am a prison inmate who was incarcerated in 1977. I have been sentenced to prison for the rest of my life. My criminal case is well known and was called the Son of Sam shootings. 10 years later, in 1987, when I was living in a cold and lonely prison cell, God got a hold of my life. Here's my story of hope. But you just said you were haunted every day. See, that's concerning. Those are contradictory things, I think. Child of torment. Ever since I was a small child, my life seemed to be filled with torment. I would often have seizures in which I would roll on the floor. Sometimes furniture would get knocked over. What the fuck? When these attacks came, it felt as if something was entering me. See, he is trying to shift accountability. He's like, I was possessed by demons, and that's why that happened. My mother, who has long since passed away, had no control over me. Well, yeah, because you're a fucking human. You have free will. I was like a wild and destructive animal. My father had to pin me to the floor until these attacks stopped. What a bunch of insanity. When I was in public school, I was so violent and disruptive that a teacher who had become so angry at me grabbed me in a headlock and threw me out of his classroom. Yeah, probably because you were writing a bunch of crazy shit about the gutters of NYC. I was getting into a lot of fights, too. Sometimes I started screaming for no reason at all. My parents... This is so crazy. I like reading it in the Manny voice. How do we do it? My parents were then ordered by school officials to take me to a child psychologist, or else I would be expelled. That's how Manny reads his voice, and I love it. I had to go to this psychologist once per week for 2 years, yet the therapy sessions had no effect on my behavior. Duh. During this period of my life, I was also plagued with bouts of... So far, he's complaining a lot about his horrible childhood. When this feeling came over me, I would hide under my bed for hours. How can someone who just shot 6 people with a .44 Magnum still even think about how their childhood was so dark? I think that overshadows your childhood being bad. When this feeling came over me, I would hide under my bed for hours and then shoot people. I would also lock myself in a closet and sit in total darkness from morning until afternoon. Come out of the closet, David. I had a craving for the darkness, and I felt an urge to flee away from people. A force was at work. Oh my god, this is the whiniest shit. What a whiny guy. Good thing he's in prison. Occasionally this same evil force would come upon me in the middle of the night. When this would happen, I felt an urge to sneak out of the house and wander the dark streets. Hello from the streets of NYC where the cracks, whatever. He writes just like the Son of Sam, by the way. So all these people that are like, oh, it's the CIA wrote the letters, it was a cult. It's like, well, why does it sound exactly like David Berkowitz? I roamed the neighborhood like an alley cat and would creep back into the house by climbing the fire escape. My parents would never know that I was gone. Okay. I continually worried and frightened my parents because I behaved so strangely. At times, I would go an entire day without talking to them. I would stay in my room talking to myself. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what we're doing here, isn't it? My parents could not reach me, not even with all their love. Many times I saw them break down and cry because they saw that I was such a tormented person. This is so far it's the whiniest thing I've ever read, and I've read some whiny shit. I like Joy Division, and this is the whiniest thing I've ever read. Thoughts of suicide often came into my mind. Well, that's too bad he fucking pointed the gun the wrong way, isn't it? Sometimes I spent time sitting on a window ledge with my legs dangling over the side. We lived on the 6th floor of an old apartment building. When my dad saw me doing this, he would yell at me to get back inside. Fucking dad. You should have pushed him. I also felt powerful urges to step in front of moving cars, not powerful enough, or throw myself in front of subway trains, didn't throw far enough. At times, those urges were so strong that my body actually trembled. I remember that it was a tremendous struggle for me to hold on to my sanity. Yeah, gave into that, didn't he? I had no idea what to do, and neither did my parents. They had me talk to a rabbi, teachers, school counselors, but nothing worked. A whiny bunch of shit this is. When I was 14, so we're getting tired now, so it's almost time to wrap up. But I like reading this stuff. It's kind of funny. Now I understand why Manny does what he does. You know, this is like a lot of fun. When I was 14, my mother was stricken with cancer, and within several months, she was dead. I had no other brothers or sisters, and so it was just me and my dad. Alright, so there's your Sons of Sam story. It's gone now. Wasn't John Carr your brother or something, you claim? He had to work 10 hours per day, 6 days per week, so we spent very little time together. This is the whiniest bullshit I've ever read in my life. For the most part, my mother was my source of my stability. With her now gone, however, my life quickly went downhill. What stability? Look at this bullshit. This is the problem with the Son of Sam, guys. Or David Berkowitz, sorry. That it's like everything he writes contradicts itself. My mother was my source of stability. What stability? You were just talking about how you almost jumped off a building when you were like 3. With her now gone, however, my life quickly went downhill. Wasn't downhill already? I was filled with anger at the loss of my mom. I felt hopeless, and my periods of depression were more intense than ever. I also became more rebellious and began to cut out of school. Yet my dad tried to help as best as he could. Did a fucking horrible job. He managed to push me through high school. The day after I graduated, I went into the Army. I had just turned 18 several weeks earlier. I joined the Army in a sense to start a new life and get away from my problems. No, you probably went there because you wanted to shoot people. But even in the service, I had trouble coping, though I did manage to finish my 3-year enlistment. He had trouble coping because he didn't get to shoot anybody. Okay? I got out of the service in 1974 to start life again as a civilian. All my friends that I knew before had either married or moved away, so I found myself alone and living in New York City. Oh, this is so gay. In 1975, however, I met some guys at a party who were, I later found out, heavily involved in the occult. So he just won't drop this 1993 bullshit. I had always been fascinated with witchcraft, Satanism, and occult things since I was a child. When I was growing up, I watched countless horror and satanic movies, one of which was Rosemary's Baby. That movie in particular totally captivated my mind. Actually, my grandma has that problem. The Force still had me, he says. It's like he's trying to blame his shootings on these demons. Now I was age 22 and this evil force was still reaching out to me. Everywhere I went, there seemed to be a sign or a symbol pointing me to Satan. I felt as if something were trying to take control of my life. I began to read the Satanic Bible by the late Anton LaVey, who founded the Church of Satan. I began innocently to practice various occult rituals and incantations. Oh my God. I am utterly convinced that something satanic had entered into my mind, and that looking back at all that happened, I realized that I had been slowly deceived. I did not know that bad things were going to result from all this. Really? Didn't cross your mind when you picked up a .44 Magnum and shot someone in the head with it? Or a .44 Bulldog, sorry. Yet over the months, the things that were wicked no longer seemed to be such. I was headed down the road to destruction, and I did not know it. Maybe I was at a point where I just didn't care anymore. Apparently. Eventually, I crossed that invisible line of no return. There is a return, you fucking dick. You know? Okay. After years of mental torment, behavioral problems, deep inner struggles, and my own rebellious ways, I became the criminal that, at the time, it seemed as if it was my destiny to be. I can relate to, like, that stuff. It's just that you have to have, like, some kind of... If you don't have any self-control like that, like, if you can't be like, maybe I'm not going to go paralyze and blind people with a revolver, it's like, you suck. Looking back, it was all a horrible nightmare. No, it wasn't. It was a real fucking thing that you did. And I would do anything if I could undo everything that happened. Like what? 6 people lost their lives. Many others suffered at my hand and will continue to suffer for a lifetime. I am so sorry for that. Okay. In 1978, I was sentenced to about 365 consecutive years, virtually burying me alive behind prison walls. Well, I wonder why. So guys, it's not about retaliation. Like, we're not punishing David Berkowitz, we're removing him from society, you understand? Because it's not safe. We can't do anything about Donna Loria. She's dead. And as fucked up as this is gonna sound, but it's not I'm not God, so I don't my what I think is morally okay isn't necessarily like, I think that it's morally wrong to blow away Donna Loria, but ultimately we all have, it's God's will, not mine. So, but what we can do is we can remove him from society so that he can't do it again. When I first entered the prison system, I was placed in isolation. I was then sent to a psychiatric hospital because I was declared temporarily insane. Eventually, I was sent to other prisons, including the infamous Attica. As with many inmates, life in prison is a struggle. I have had my share of problems, hassles, and fights. At one time, I almost lost my life when another inmate cut my throat. Did a fucking terrible job. Yet all through this, and I did not realize it until later, God had his loving hands on me. Can't even disagree with that. It's technically, I believe that to be true, but, you know, we just can't let him out. And he's still applying for parole. That's the problem, guys. He's still trying to parole. You know, if I blew away 6 people with a revolver and then they put me in prison where I would obviously belong, I wouldn't try to parole if I were truly redeemed. The fact that he keeps trying to parole shows me that I don't think he's redeemed, because he should understand that he can't be in society because he's dangerous, because a little bit of temptation happened and he started blowing people away. So that's wrong, I think. 10 years into my prison sentence and feeling despondent and without hope, another inmate came up to me one day. Isn't he a convict? Anyway, as I was walking the prison yard on a cold winter's night, he introduced himself and began to tell me that Jesus Christ loved me and wanted to forgive me. Yeah, that's true. Although I knew he meant well, I mocked him because I did not think that God would ever forgive me or that he would want anything to do with me. He created you, dick. Still, this man persisted. I mean, I get that this is what he used to think, and that's fine. Still, this man persisted, and we became friends. His name was Rick, and we would walk the yard together. Little by little, he would share with me about his life and what he believed Jesus had done for him. He kept reminding me that no matter what a person did, Christ stood ready to forgive if that individual would be willing to turn from the bad things they were doing and would put their full faith and trust in Jesus Christ and what he did on the cross by dying for our sins. He gave me a Gideon's Pocket Testament and asked me to read the Psalms. I did. Every night I would read from them, and it was at this time that the Lord was quietly melting my stone-cold heart. Good. Doesn't mean you should parole. I don't think. I wouldn't grant you parole. I would literally sit there with a straight face, look David Berkowitz dead in the eyes, and tell him, good. That's very great stuff. I hope that all of that's true. I'm not letting you back to the streets of New York. Because what if you change your mind tomorrow? You know? It's not about punishment. It's about public safety. A new life begins. And yeah, we can't do anything, like, we can't save the world, but we can do, like, our part to, like, not have fucking dangerous lunatics who saw Taxi Driver and thought it was cool running around with a revolver. It's not safe, you know? One night I was reading Psalm 34. I came upon the 6th verse, which says, "This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him from all his troubles." I love when that happens, like when you read something in, like, biblical or spiritual text, and then you're like, whoa. But then it's not even, like, as profound as it feels at that moment, because it's a message that's being saved just for you. So it's cool as fuck. I was at that I'm not saying Berkowitz is cool, I'm saying that's cool. It was at that moment in 1987 that I began to pour out my heart to God. Okay, so why are you trying to parole, though? Everything seemed to hit me at once. The guilt from what I did, the disgust at what I had become. Late that night in my cold cell, I got down on my knees and began to cry out to Jesus Christ. Good. Don't go back to the streets of New York. It's not safe. I told him that I was sick and tired of doing evil. Good. I asked Jesus to forgive me for all my sins. Good. I spent a good while on my knees praying to him. Good. And then he puts a picture of this prayer thing, like it's, I don't know. When I got up, it felt as if a very heavy but invisible chain that had been around me for so many years was broken. A peace flooded over me. Yeah, it's fucking cool, actually. I will second that. It's fucking really cool when you do that moment, when you do that. And then, like, it's like, whoa, what the fuck? And, like, all this, like, shadow, like, flies away. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know it was there. I did not understand what was happening, but in my heart, I just knew that my life somehow was going to be different. Okay, but it's not going to be on the streets of New York, you understand? This is really long, guys. We're almost there. I want to see that. He was on Larry King Live in 1999. That's kind of cool. I have also worked as the chaplain's clerk, and I also have a letter-writing ministry. In addition, the Lord has opened ways for me to share with millions via TV programs, such as Inside Edition in 1993. You fucking lied on that program, man. This is no, this guy is such a dirtbag. He lied on that show. He said he didn't shoot Carl DeNaro. He totally shot Carl DeNaro, obviously. An A&E investigative reporter in 97. What he has done in my life, as well as to warn others about the dangers of getting involved in the cult. Okay, you lied in 1993, though. So why are we talking about that? Wasn't very honest of you, David. I have also shared my testimony on several Christian TV programs, such as the 700 Club in 97, the blah, 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 blah. For all these opportunities, I am most thankful, and I do not feel I deserve this. That doesn't sound... What? Guys, I deserve everything God gives me. Sometimes it surprises me, you know, but saying that you don't feel you deserve it means you're, like, arguing with God. You know, it's like you're saying, like, no, you're wrong, God. And is God wrong? I mean, built the ocean, built the sky, all that stuff. One of my favorite passages of Scripture is Romans 10:13. It says, "For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved." Well, yeah. Here it is clear that God has no favorites. He rejects no one, but welcomes all who will call. So why are you saying you don't... See, he does this a lot. It's like every other line he contradicts himself. I don't understand him. This is what happens when you read the depraved ramblings of a serial killer, guys. It just doesn't make sense, and you're like, what? So yeah, this is crazy. It always trips me out to read, like, I read the Unabomber's manifesto, and it was like, oh, good point. No, bad idea. You know, it's like, he makes, like, a bunch of really good points, the Unabomber. He's like, yeah, you know, technology is doing this, it's bad, we shouldn't have this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, good, makes sense. I like technology personally because I think it's enabled us to do incredible things. But, you know, you read the Unabomber manifesto and you're like, okay, that's a good point. He makes a lot of good points in there, except for the whole bombing people thing. It's like, that's not the right idea. That's not the solution to what you're talking. The solution to what you're talking about is to go build a house in the middle of the woods, grow all your own food, and then like raise a family. Not bomb people. You fucking lunatic. I know that God is a God of mercy who is willing to forgive. He is perfectly able to restore and heal our hurting and broken lives. I have discovered from the Bible that Jesus Christ died for our sins, yet he was without sin. He took our place on that cross. He shed his blood as the full and complete payment God required for our wrongdoing. The Bible also says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. True. Furthermore, it says, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Wages of sin is death, man. It's true. That's true. Think about it. You know, when I smoke meth, for example, which is a sinful activity, it kills me. I die. I drop dead. It's sinful. So I believe that. These passages make it clear that everyone has sinned. Yes, some like myself did so more than others, but all have done things wrong. Therefore, we must all make the decision to acknowledge our sins before God and be sorry for them. We need to turn from our lives of sin as well as believe that Christ was and is the Son of God. You must believe that Jesus Christ died and was buried, and on the third day he rose again in victory, for death could not hold him. Ask Christ to forgive you. Declare him as your Lord of life, and do not be ashamed to do so. To reject Jesus Christ and his work on the cross is to reject the God's perfect and only gift of salvation and eternal life. I mean, guys, if everything God does is perfect, then why is he says he doesn't deserve the opportunities that God has given him? That doesn't make sense. It's contradictory. He does this a lot. Friend, here's your chance to get things right with God. That's rich. Imagine being told by the son of Sam that this is my chance to get things right. It's like, what? And maybe he's right. But it's just a weird feeling. Like, when you read the depraved ramblings of a serial killer, it's like, what the fuck? The Bible says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, and if you believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. For with the heart mankind believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession of salvation is made. So believe in your heart that the words from the Bible are true. Please consider what I'm saying. I beg you with all my heart to place your faith in Christ right now. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Yeah, definitely not those people you shot. You see, I am not sharing this message to simply tell you an interesting story. Rather, I want you to taste the goodness of God in my life, a man who was once a devil worshiper and a murderer, to show you that Christ is about forgiveness, hope, and change. I mean, you're still a murderer. You know, maybe he's not a devil worshiper anymore. Okay, fine. But he's still a murderer. So he can't be like, who was once a murderer. It's like, you are a murderer. I was involved in the occult, and I got burned. Okay, that was the first time I think I've done a face palm on here. So, I became a cruel killer and threw away my life as well as destroyed the lives of others. Now I've discovered that Christ is my answer and my hope. He broke the chains of mental confusion and depression that had me bound. It doesn't sound like he broke the depression because you're over here talking about how you're haunted every day. It's just confusing. It's a lot of confusing things that he says. It's like, what the fuck? This is what happens when we read serial killers and this stuff. Today I have placed my life in his hands. I only wish I knew Jesus before all these crimes happened. They would not have happened. Yeah, fuck, man. That would have been great. May God bless everyone who is reading this message. With love in Christ, David Berkowitz. So it's like, there's some true stuff in there, and then there's some crazy shit in there, and then there's some things that's like, what? It's kind of a trip, man. This is a weird website. The Rapture, the interviews, I swear if he has the 1993 interview on here where he fucking lies to people. Sign of Hope. Okay, these would be fun to watch. I'd watch these. Yeah, this is the one where he lies. The 93 interview, isn't it? Where he claims that he didn't shoot Carl DeNaro, and it's like, so you're lying again already? He lied about Winnie Savino, too. You all know he shot Winnie Savino, guys. Such bullshit. These people are like, oh, but he doesn't look like the sketch. It's like, you don't even know what a composite sketch is. You fucking clown. Okay, so that, I think, wraps everything up. I'm getting very tired and hungry, and we've had a blast today here. Thomas Henry Horan did get brought up a couple times. This was a 2-hour stream. Channel's going to love it. Channel's going to have a blast. Everything was cool. Good night, and live from a spinning ball, this has been the most banned prowler.